Hey, it's your man, it's your boy, Dr. Jackson. Today is June the 20th, 2025, and we are at the National African American Museum in Seattle. Now right over there is Jimi Hendrix Park, and so let's go and see what we got going on. All right, peace. Afternoon there, sister. Well, this building used to be a Seattle High School, but it's also the place of a longest occupational and a protest, I think, in the country. Back in the 80s, actually, when Seattle wasn't hiring enough of us, they did a sit-in. Longest protest-occupied sit-in. And eventually, the building got sold, Urban League, and now it is Northwest African American Museum. Here we go. Oh, thanks, sister. Appreciate that. Good morning.
Or afternoon.
That's right, yeah. Some of Swan Creek Art Academy. And Jasmine Brown is going to be here?
Yeah, it's in Legacy Hall.
Okay.
So through these double doors.
Right. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Black Panthers out of Oakland, where Ph.D. embodied seal, and I wanted to honor the Dixon family as well, so their names are here. The other names that are here, and we talked about this because there were so many names we could have put here, but that was sort of taken over the entire mural. But what we will do is where the mural finally stands will be located in Skyway. There'll be a QR code next to it that will list all of you. And that people can then click on and go to a website. Will be your names and bios as well, so it won't just be, you will definitely be there in history as well, because they're just as important as well, so we want to let you know that. But we identify those fallen comrades in addition to the leaders within the respective cities. And so we will call, I don't know whether I should call the names or Aaron and Elmer should call the names of those fallen comrades. I'm going to have one of you or both of you, they're listed here on the mural, if you'd like. So what we thought is, of course, there were the roots of all the power of the people, the trees, and the tree of life, and that they were the people in different areas of the country, and then the roots from the trees would nourish the trees would nourish the roots, which then would support all power to the people. That was the vision that I had for this. So here are the comrades, some to the right, some to the left.
Now, we got the first one, it's Mike Dixon, my youngest comrade.
Youngest brother. Still here.
Yeah, no, these aren't all fallen comrades, these are just everybody. Joanne Dixon, my sister, Gwen Dixon, Elaine Brown, George Jackson, little Bobby Hutton, Emery Douglas, Kathleen Cleaver, David Hilliard, my father, Elmer Dixon, Jr., Emma Francis Dixon, Aaron and Elmer Dixon, Huey P. Newton, Bobby Steele. I'm going to let Elmer read the remainder.
All right, I just want to back up one. Little Bobby Hutton is a fallen comrade on the national level. He was the first member to die in the Black Panther Party that really inspired us to join the party. And then, of course, George Jackson, our field marshal, is a fallen comrade. And then our mother, Emma Francis Dixon, just passed in December at 99 and 9 months. She just missed her 100th birthday. Continuing on with the list, I think Aaron, you did Huey P. Newton and Bobby Steele. Huey, of course, is deceased. Henry Boyer is one of the Seattle fallen comrades. There are 9 of them. Carolyn Downs, who our clinic is named after. Welton Butch Armstead. Sidney Miller. Alfred Postel. Larry Ward. Those are the, there's one of the fallen comrades whose name I didn't see there. Maud Allen. But we'll make sure that she's recognized. And then Fred Hampton's on there, Carl Hampton, who were murdered in Chicago. Al Prentice, Bunchy Carter, and John Huggins, who were murdered in LA. Fendi Shakur, who was Tupac's mother, who was deceased. She was not a fallen comrade, as per se, someone who died in service. Asada Shakur, who was imprisoned or isolated, exiled in Cuba. And then Mark Clark, who was also murdered with Fred Hampton. I said Carl Hampton. Fred Hampton and Mark Clark were murdered in Chicago. Carl Hampton was a Houston Panther who was murdered in Houston. I think that's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being such a role in county and we have Myron real quickly talk about the inspiration regarding the mural, and because he and I kind of went back and forth on it, and we finally settled on this. So I'll hand this over to Myron.
Thank you. This is an honor for me to be able to do what I do and participate in this and so many other foundational pieces in the community. I really just want to say this, why this is so important, right? I'm not young, I look young, but I'm not that young. But this is important because I was previously incarcerated for almost 20 years. I didn't ever really know the connection, right? And this is what is important. So when young people look at this and they read that QR code and they can see their connection. And then like she said, with all people, right? And when I came home was about 6 years ago, and I really learned so much about my own culture, my own history right here in Seattle. You know, all these things like Japanese folks being in the Black Panther Party, and just like even the Black Panther Party itself. And like I said, I have family in Oakland and stuff. I knew about it, but it was like when you start learning your connection and all the things that were done to pave the way for us, then you kind of start needing to be able to carry that torch, right? And it puts that fire inside of us. So that to me is just like number one importance, and I really wanted to relay that that's how it's going to really connect with folks at the park, and being able to see community really connect with this and connect with the meaning and us being able to carry that torch and really have a voice and not be afraid, you know. And that's how I feel like with my art, and when I speak, I just speak from my heart, you know, and I do my art not for me, not for the people that, you know, maybe have hired me, but I do it for the folks, the community, that where it's gonna lie. You know, I go out there and talk to people, I mean, people living on the street, people that have businesses, I talk to everybody because I want people to know that they're included and that it is for them. You know what I mean? Everybody has challenges. We all make mistakes, and we're not defined by the mistake, right? And so I just wanted to make sure I, signify that and identify that, because that's what means so much to me. And it was really a pleasure to be able to participate in this, and I want to say thank you.
Well, thank you, Myron. I also want to talk about the purpose for me. When I was at the University of Washington in the 70s, late 70s, but 70s, and I was pledging a historical Black college sorority, Delta Sigma Theta sorority. And one of the asks for us, of course, since it's a public service sorority, was to do work in the community. So we would go out and get people to register to vote. We would also make sure that we went to breakfast programs and food programs and helped. And then one of our, my line sister, her name is Carol Rodney, came to us, and Leslie Brooks came and said, hey, the Black Panthers are on campus and they have these new breakfast programs, and we would like you to participate in going to serve food at the Sidney Miller Free Breakfast Program at a couple of the locations. And my line sister, there were 7 of us, and we said, absolutely, absolutely. Where and when and how often can we participate? And so that was one of my first experiences with the Seattle Black Panther Parks. We recognized that there was a lot of young people going to school who were hungry, families who didn't have food. We also recognized that equitable health care was also not available, and we wanted to participate in whatever we could in order to continue to support the community that had a high need. The second brush of that was my brother Alan Stowers, who was in Bellingham, I think, probably right around the time, and there were some unrest there a little bit in the Bellingham area, and he and I chatted very briefly, and he had called the Aaron and Elmer to come up to Bellingham at Western Washington State University, and I think this is important because I remember him saying, and the feelings that I had, that they were there. They were there if you called, and they were there to help and support and protect the community, especially a community at a time where, former Mayor Wes Ullman said more prolifically that the Seattle police at that time, that he had to work through some police who were that were engaging in behaviors that they should not have in terms of how they interacted with the Black and brown community, and he was very much there trying to address that issue. And they were there, the Seattle Black Panthers were there, and they were ready to support the community. They were ready and there if you needed them. They were ready and there and understood some of the issues that were impacting the community over time. And they can best tell their story than I can tell their story, but I can tell you the impact that it had on myself and my life. I'm a former state and federal civil rights investigator, and I manage investigative units. I've been primarily sort of behind the scenes, but I recognize that the behind the scenes role is very important in terms of leadership, but it's the people who are willing to put their lives on the line, boots on the ground, who are in the communities, interacting and putting themselves and their families at risk, and they're willing to do that, and not a lot of people are willing to do that. They're not necessarily willing to put their lives on the line. So I want to say thank you, because I stand on your shoulders and all of those who died and gave their lives, and all of you here who are willing to take the courageous and brave road that also inspired people like me and other people to come into the community and try to pave the way for the furtherance of civil and human rights for all people, and not just people who look like me. So I want to say thank you, because you're my inspiration, and I stand on your shoulders. Alrighty, so where we go from here is a couple things. Before you leave, I'm going to have obviously Aaron and Elmer and Nurture Roots speak a little bit about why it's important to have a mural in a park in King County to commemorate the Seattle Black Panthers. But in addition to that, you will have a commemorative card to take with you. Commemorative, I'm having a tough time today. But a commemorative card to take with you that will kind of remind you of the day. So I'm going to start a little bit about Nurture Roots here and talk about why it's so important and what was your inspiration, or Naima's inspiration of having the park. And then, of course, Aaron and Elmer as well kind of close us out on this section.
Okay, well, thank you for having me. I am the director, board director for Nurturing Roots. We also have another one of our team members here, Keelan. And Naima wasn't able to be here because she was called away for a family business in Los Angeles. However, she made sure that I had her words, and I will read them to you now. I'll share her words. And it reads, as the founder of Nurturing Roots and the project lead for Black Panther Park, I am deeply honored to share this moment with our community. This project is more than a park. It's a living tribute to the legacy of the Seattle Black Panther Party, whose revolutionary spirit has been a guiding light in my own journey toward liberation and community healing. The Black Panthers have always inspired me. Their courage, their discipline, their love for the people. Their example taught me how to lead, and how to envision liberation, not as a dream, but as a daily practice. For over 7 years now, we've been working to bring this vision to life in the Skyway area, and it means the world to me to be part of this work. Black Panther Park will be a space to honor our shared histories, to educate and uplift, to build a future rooted in justice, equity, and imagination. We are proud to center and elevate contractors of color throughout this process, building this space with the very hands and hearts of the community it is meant to serve. I could never do this alone. My deepest gratitude goes out to the Skyway community, King County, Stone Soup Gardens, our visionary landscape design team, and every supporter who has believed in this dream, and the Seattle chapter of the Black Panther Party. Your legacy lives on in me and in all of us. Thank you for your strength, your courage, and your boundless love for the people. This is just the beginning. All power to the people.
Thank you very much. I can't wait to see that mural in the park. And we'll have another celebration, all the different murals. This is just one of, I think, 3 or 4 murals that are going to be in the park. And so there'll be another celebration sometime in September or October with all of the murals there in the opening and the ribbon cutting of the park. So we hope to all see you there as well. A couple of things before you leave. Make sure you get a commemorative card, which is a picture of the mural. And Elmer and Aaron signed the card, so make sure you get the commemorative. Now what I'd like to do is have Elmer and Aaron, you guys go first and talk about the meaning behind the mural, give us any updates on the Seattle Black Panthers, your story, why it's important. Start here.
First, I want to thank Byron for the tremendous job he did on painting the mural. And I definitely want to talk about Naima. I've known Naima for quite a while. Her and my daughter were good friends, and she used to hang at our house. But she is a tremendous young lady. I can't not say enough about her and her determination and her will and desire. There's no doubt about it, if she was born earlier, she would have been a high-ranking member of the Black Panther. And I also want to thank my comrades that are here, that are still here. 1968, most of them were around in 1968. And this park and this mural is a beautiful tribute to the work of the Black Panther Party and to all of its fallen comrades. And I want to thank everybody that came out to participate in this event. And sorry that Naima isn't here, but her mom is here, where she got all her inspiration from. And all power to the people. All power to the people.
I'm going to stand up, sore back and all. I'll begin also by saying all power to the people. I'm not sure that people fully understand what that means, but I think the portrait, the mural, really explains it. You talked about the fact that we need power for all people, not just Black people. Secondly, and I want to thank Nurturing Roots, Naima, who's, as Aaron said, an incredible person, and all of the Nurturing folks for putting this park together. It's a lasting, and will be a lasting tribute to the work of the Black Panther Party. Aaron mentioned our comrades over there. You know, Aaron and I often, get the glory. We're interviewed and whatever. But it's the rank and file members of the Black Panther Party that made the Black Panther Party. It's important to understand that each one of them stepped forward and put their lives on the line. People don't understand what that meant when we say put your lives on the line, because they have this kind of big definition of what that was. But we were targets. We were targets for assassination. And we knew every time we stepped out of the office that we were at risk of assassination. And we didn't care, we weren't afraid, we were fearless. And so the rank and file represent that fearlessness. I want to make sure I give credit to the rank and file. Secondly, on the fallen comrades that I mentioned, there are two names that are not on there of the fallen comrades. I'm going to mention their names. One was Lou Jack. Lou Jack was an incredible Panther who gave his life. Was murdered in prison. One of the original members of the Black Panther Party. His name will be added to that mural. The other was a young sister that came to the organization years later, who died while we were in service, and her name was Renee Pookie Chambliss. So those two names will be added to that mural. The importance of continuing the legacy of the Black Panther Party is critical, particularly in these times when we have a lunatic trying to erase Black history. And so this park is one example, one foothold. I just saw Marcus Dupree walk in. Marcus, where are you? He and his father are producing a documentary on the Seattle chapter of the Black Panther Party. It's a story that's being told by members of the Black Panther Party. It's not narrated. In fact, I think every one of them over there has been interviewed. Is that correct? All y'all brothers? And there's sisters on there too. 60% of the Black Panther Party are women. We just couldn't get the sisters out this morning that are still here in Seattle. But that's another piece of the pie, of the puzzle, if you will, to make sure that our legacy is preserved. And I think the biggest project that we have right now is that we have established a legacy group, the Seattle chapter of the Black Panther Party Legacy Group, which for the last 2.5, 3 years has been working on the development of a interpretive center rather than a museum. Museums tend to be stationary. Interpretive center means they're interactive, they interpret a piece of history. An interpretive center and research center. And we have, in fact, already secured the demonstration site, which will be opening in September at the historic